Can I tell you
Yeah.
a funny thing for me? So I like to talk often about the concept of psychological reactance, the instant negative reaction of being told what to do. And I had several of my clients suggest to me that I listen to Room for Two. And so I found myself saying, I will not be listening to Room for Two. And then I thought, why? Jennifer is my top 3 most downloaded episodes ever. And I'm a therapist. It would be nice to hear. And then I realized that was my fear was, well, what if I'm like a really crummy therapist, you know? And so I want you to know that you have helped me a ton as well.
Oh,
and and I've been able to do all kinds of self-confrontation. But I'm curious though, do you feel like there is a difference between therapy and coaching? I'm so curious about your opinion on this.
Well, the only thing that's really different for me is I'm not treating, well, 2 things. I'm not treating mental health issues. So I'm not treating depression, anxiety, psychopathology. And if I work with somebody and that's emerging, then I am saying, go and find a counselor for this specific thing. So so that's the difference. I'm making a mental health versus a developmental self-awareness distinction. And then I also don't do long-term work with people. I do short-term consultation. So I'm often, where people are often stuck is that they can't see what they can't see. They can't see their participation in their troubles. Yeah. And I think one of my skills is being able to see better how this couple is interacting and reinforcing the worst in each other. Mm-hmm. And when we're just aware of what our partner does, which is what we're usually most acutely aware of, we become unable to get out of the pattern. Yeah. And so I'm trying to offer that third view to help people's intelligence go up and allow them to engage differently. So I'm not doing kind of long-term hand-holding. I'm more trying to wake people up to themselves. They may go get a counselor to do that longer-term work, especially if they're staying on the right muscle, right? That can be very valuable. It's easy in therapy, though, especially in individual therapy, to pull for the therapist to buy into your self-deceived picture. Absolutely. Yeah. And then just get reinforcement for that picture rather than staying on our liabilities or our limitations. So,
Well, I like what you're saying there, too. I find that when someone is not aware of what they are not aware, and then if I just have empathy and I just say, man, that sounds hard, I realize they walk out of the office and say, okay, he agrees. And it's, it's not agreeing, but they're so used to, I feel like, the people telling them they're wrong, that then just saying, man, that sounds difficult. I guess that must feel like, that felt validated.
Good. Right. Exactly. And I think you can validate the difficulty of a position without making people think that it's the justified decision, or a better way of saying it, or that it's going to give them what they ultimately want. I think a lot of times I'm trying to be Christmas future for people and say, if you keep doing this, right, as good as it may feel or as justified as it may feel, you're going to have a son who doesn't trust you or take you seriously, or you're going to have a spouse who may manage you but doesn't want to be close to you. So I'm trying to help people see in our self-deception, we can justify ourselves, but not recognize we're destroying our own happiness.
Yeah. Hey, do you prefer one versus the other, of doing a little more of that long-term therapy versus the coaching and seeing Christmas future? I love that concept.
I mean, I probably like both, actually, on some level. There are some people in my practice that I have worked with longer term, especially if I think it's productive and they're really working through things. But I probably honestly prefer the shorter term work, in part because people work harder. If they think that as long as they can afford it, they can just have me on tap, in a sense.
Right. Yeah.
It allows the delusion that people just need more information as opposed to going out and doing the hard work of changing behavior. Yeah. So self-awareness is only valuable in as much as it helps us to act differently. But it's in acting differently that we change our lives. And so I never want to use the frame of coaching or therapy to interfere with people actually doing differently, because it's a tempting idea that someday I'll feel like doing this hard thing.
Yeah,
I was just talking to somebody who can be quite mean to her husband and get him to do things that she wants. And And she knows that what she's doing is wrong. She knows it's destructive, meaning she's seeing herself and seeing that she's repeating what one of her parents did. But to actually go and tell her husband, look, I use your desire to have me be happy with you to take advantage of you. That's very different. Like, it's one thing to talk to me about it, to go and actually expose it to him and say, I'm a jerk. And, and I'm not fair to you. Well, that takes a lot more courage. And most of us would rather just sit and talk about how bad we are or how we could do better, or than actually going and doing better.
I agree. Or the old, well, I will do it later. I'll do it when. I'll do it when I have more time. I'll do it when the kids are out of school. I'll do it when he's in a better mood. Or I don't want to confront him around his birthday or Arbor Day or whatever. Right. I pulled that one out.
That was Arbor Day.
No, it's a lot of people don't understand the fears people have around Arbor Day. I do feel like what I like about listening to you, Coach, and I'm starting to use a lot of your vernacular, so I hope that it isn't trademarked. I've been talking a lot about the courage and caretaking